Welcome to Can't Come Close podcast. I'm your host, Ruben Cano. Here today, I'm with my good friend Tan Luong. And what's up, Tan? How you feeling?
Good, good. I know we're on spring break right now, so we're definitely not as tired as we usually are. But yeah, I'm doing well.
Yeah. Tell these people who you are and where you're from.
I'm Tan. I'm a Sonoma County, basically born and raised. Um, I am a student here at SSU. Um, I am also a track coach at the Santa Rosa Junior College. I am a computer science major here, and yeah, that's pretty much the who I am.
Yeah. Um, let's take it back when was your first moment when you played sports?
I'd say probably first moments. Um, well, growing up, my dad was really big into uh, volleyball, and because he's played ever since he was like our age,
Yeah.
even back in like high school and stuff. So like growing up, he kind of put me into volleyball when I was probably in like first grade. So when I was like six and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
um, I didn't really think it was for me. He actually have a funny story. He put me into a it was a he put me into the YMCA, and I think it was a all girls team, and it was me and my older brother. We were the only two boys in the entire league of girls, and they were like 12, 13-year-old girls, and there was me and my brother who was like 6 and 8 or something. I was like, oh man, I and like so I think growing up I didn't necessarily have the best experience with sports because
Mm-hmm.
like I felt like I was like pushed into it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think I think I was in I think I was doing sports when I was pretty young. So
Okay. Okay. Like what? So you what? Why do you decide to do track?
I think specifically track is because I kind of I started off as one of those kids who just kind of wanted to do it for the PE credits, so I didn't have to do PE
Yeah.
sophomore year.
Yeah.
Um, but then I think it really just kind of grew on me. I also did cross country.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I so in my mind I was like, all right, I'll just do the cross country and track and then be done with the PE credits. But
Yeah.
then I ended up finding a lot of people I really like to hang out with. A lot of my really good friends are people who I met in track,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, so yeah, I think it was more about the people rather than the sport that really pushed me. And then I also have to um, I definitely have to shout out my coach. Like he definitely pushed me to be greater and to and just make me you know believe in myself more. So
Who was that coach that pushed you and made you be better?
yeah, so that coach, his name is Brian Bradley. Um, a lot of a lot of OGs like us here, we knew him as the coach at Montgomery High School. Um, Unfortunately, in 2021, he did pass away. Just completely random. And he was very young, um, and that was definitely heartbreaking. He definitely pushed me from being like a JV like like middle JV all the way up to a varsity captain, and I really owe him everything for that. And even after him passing away, I still want to push for his for everything he's done for all of his athletes, and I think it's just very important that you know we
Mm-hmm.
we pay respect
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
our roots. So
Uh, can you tell the viewers what happened and why how he died, passed away?
So I'm still actually not entirely sure. It's never really been disclosed to the public at least. Um, so it was the right after I graduated is when it happened in the fall, like literally like during like one of the first weeks of cross country or something.
It was my senior year.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
And and so my friend Grant Hurd, shout out to Grant. Um, he he told me he was riding around on his bike in Annandale National Park.
State Park.
Yep. And he told me he saw a helicopter flying by, like one of the emergency helicopters flying by, heading towards where they do their where the Montgomery cross country team does their like drills, warm up stretches, all that. And he just told me that he unfortunately heard that our coach has just been on the ground, and he's been he's just been needing help. And then it was later that night we found out unfortunately he passed away. So again, not entirely sure what happened. It's never really been I think like told to the public, but that's pretty much all I know. And because it all just really happened at once.
Okay. Yeah. Rest in peace for Coach Brian. And what, like, why, like, was there any achievements that you had during those days in Montgomery, like any awards, like, or best personal times?
Yeah. So I actually had a really I think my track career is kind of goofy, I'd say. So, I don't even know if you know this, but so in my freshman year, I started off doing this 16 and 800.
I didn't know that.
So I did start off as a long distance runner, only because I did cross country, and everyone thought I was just a long distance runner. So I started off doing the 16 and 8. Wasn't really my thing. I only ran like a 5:20 something. So, and then so I started off in my freshman year doing long distance. Everyone found out that that wasn't really my thing, and then in my sophomore year is when my coach kind of nudged me to be more of a sprinter, so that he put me in the 800 and 400 instead. So literally just a bump down.
Yeah.
And then but then at the same time is when he wanted to put me in the 4x1 and 4x4 in for the JVs, just so I could get a little bit of experience.
The relays.
Yep. And then in my junior year of 2020, or 2019 to 2020, is when he really just pushed me to be like a long sprinter, because he knew I had the speed endurance and also just a little bit more of the experience like running those races.
Yeah.
So that's when I fully transitioned in becoming more of a sprinter.
Okay.
And in that period, from my sophomore year to junior year is when I started just to really ramp up my training, and like every day over the summer I'd head out with my coach. We do all type of workouts and stuff. Took a little bit of break during winter, when we do a lot of weight training.
Yeah.
And then in that period, that's when all my gears clicked, and that's really when I found out that I think I can push myself a little bit further to actually be a important aspect on the team. And going into my junior year, a lot of my upperclassmen who scored a lot of points, at these really important meets, they all graduated. So I knew that if I had the work ethic and the responsibility to actually help out the team, then I need to do it. And that's kind of when one day after weights, my coach he he just kind of pulled me aside and he gave me a little note saying that, you know, if 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 you want to be one of the sprints captain this year, you can, and then if so, come talk to me after, and then we'll figure things out. So, um, sorry. But then last thing, I think as we all know, 2020 was the big
Yeah.
C,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that cut both of our seasons off really short.
Definitely.
And so really, I don't personally, I never really had a chance to shine in high school, and
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that's always just like a knife to the heart, because I really thought I had the opportunity to. Senior year, we had like a really weird
Yeah, your
season.
senior year, my junior year, it was kind of it was a iffy season. It
Yeah.
was a weird season, and I say because cross country started in March, and then right like it was for a month or 2,
Mhm.
and then right after it was track. Yeah, it was weird.
Yep. Yeah, so personally, I don't really have any achievements in high school, if that's what you're
Yeah.
specifically asking. So I
Yeah.
don't think, other than just like kind of just trying to be a role model for the team,
Yeah.
other than that, I don't think I really shined as much as I
Yeah.
was planning to. So,
Yeah. So so can we take it back with the your junior season before COVID? You ran one race or two races before COVID hit?
yeah, so we actually, so Montgomery, we only ran one race.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to make sure, because at Pioneer we ran two races, and it was the big cat
Big Cat.
into invitational, and then a scrimmage against Annalee.
Oh, it was a scrimmage against, was it just against
It was Annalee and I think Elmo before they shut down.
El Molino, right?
Yeah.
Right. I forget. I always forget about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think it was them, and I thought it was another team too, and I thought it was Montgomery too, but like.
Yeah, yeah, we didn't have anything, because after Big Cat,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but after that week, we were gonna host something called the North Coast
Oh yeah,
Extravaganza.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that because they were like iffy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. So what made you like? Were you ever like a long jumper during high school, or triple jumper, or any field events?
That's actually a very good question, and I actually did do it in my senior year. So that was the weird COVID season,
Yeah.
and a lot of people do know me now as the long jump, triple jump guy
Yeah.
around here, and I never actually did that in high school. I only did it maybe once or twice, I think, in senior year, only because my friend Orion, he was like the number one pole vaulter
Yeah.
during that year, and he was jumping like 13, 14 feet at the time, and his older cousin was our long jump coach at Montgomery. So we had this we would, just like our team, we had this our own little like scrimmage, just for fun.
Yeah.
And then and there was long jump, of course. So I just kind of hopped in, and then I actually ended up I won that scrimmage completely as a joke, and I think I only got like 18 feet or something.
Dang.
But at that point, Orion's older cousin, which was the long jump coach, she was like, "Dude, Taylor, what the hell have you been doing? Why haven't you been doing long jump?" And yeah, so ever since then, she was like, well, and at that point we only had a few meets left, so she was like, I want you to focus on the 4 and 2, obviously, but but I might snag you over for long jump in case if we need points.
Yeah.
Then for our final meet, it was a home meet against Santa Rosa High School. Let me see. Going to long jump, it was my very last jump, and I think I scratched like the first two and got like 17 feet on that third one or something, or maybe there was only 3 jumps or something. I don't know. And on that last one, I was like, man, I really want to get like higher or 19 feet.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of on the runway for so long. I just kind of visualized everything.
Yeah.
I just kind of run through. I just went out there and did it. And then I looked at it, or I went over. I looked at the tape.
Yeah.
It was 19 and a quarter of an inch. And I was like, oh my gosh, like,
dang.
Which now it's like, and for me now that's not really that good.
Yeah.
But
at that level, it is good.
Yeah. At the time, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I should have been doing this my entire high school season.
Yeah.
Or my entire high school career, but it's all good.
Have you ever besides volleyball and track and cross country, have you ever played any other sport like for fun or?
Yeah. So a few people do know I actually did do judo. I did judo, and I was gonna do wrestling when I was at Slater, which is my junior high.
Mm-hmm.
But I did do judo from 4th grade up until 8th grade, if I remember that correctly. But I did judo. I think I didn't like it as much as I wanted to, only because at the tournament, I don't know why, but it wasn't. So like in track, there's like heats.
Yeah.
In judo and wrestling, I believe, there's pools.
Yeah.
So in each of our pools, it should usually be by weight,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For some reason, I was always put by age. And for anyone who knew me at the time, dude, I was a small, puny ass kid. Like I was probably like I don't think I was even like I was like probably like 4'8". Like I was tiny.
Like probably like 100 pounds.
Dude, I was like less than 100 pounds. I was like probably like 85 or something.
Yeah.
And I got my ass beat at every tournament, and I'm like, dude, this is not fun.
Yeah.
But I loved all the people I met there. I not really in contact with anyone. Actually, you know what? I am in contact with maybe one person that I met there, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Yeah. So I did judo, and then I guess other than some like rec basketball, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay. Any like funny teammates or memorable teammates you had?
This guy right here.
Why me?
I don't know, man. Like I remember you and my first. I mean, our both of our years at the JC. I don't know. I think you would just you definitely brought up the whole team. Like anytime, like I remember, like every time I was hanging out with Ethan, and then we saw you, we would like pull you over, and it was like the funniest time ever. And we would always have a good time talking with Ruben. So, let me see. Funny teammates. Let's see. We definitely. I don't know, probably Kyle. I think Kyle was just kind of, I don't know, Kyle just kind of like existed.
Yeah.
If that made sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Kyle, if you're watching, we all love you, Kyle.
Yeah, we all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. Actually, you know what? I think I actually have to shout out our head coaches.
Yeah.
Because I think our coaches were low key pretty funny. Like, dude, Corey, man, the things Corey would say. he would not get away with in high school, man. Like you would have to be at the JC. Like there's like he like oh man, like if he saw you doing like a bad drill, I don't know if you were there for it.
Yeah.
He was like if you do that again, I'll bring out mine. And then he brings out like a fucking like he's like pretending he has like a gun. And we're like, and he was like, bam! And we were like, what the hell?
No.
But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, them coaches, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, have you like like talk about the GC days? Like tell these viewers what was it like? How was it? Like,
Yeah. So I'd say just the JC overall. So I'm a year older than you.
Yeah.
I didn't do track my first year at the JC simply because when my coach passed away, I just kind of lost like I just didn't want to like run anymore.
Yeah.
So I ended up going back to my old high school to help coach because I wanted to help build that foundation back. So that was just kind of my first year at the JC. I was still just kind of figuring everything out with classes. I just wanted to get a lot of my GE done. Took a lot of STEM classes. Going into my second year is when my same friend who did pole vault convinced me to join the team again. And at the time, I was still going into the JC as a 400 and 200 guy, and I really thought I was gonna do that until my same friend told me, hey, remember senior year when you did that one long jump and you got 19 feet? And he was like, I think if you train for that, you would be really good at that. He saw it in me, you know. I had no clue.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing that. My first semester doing both track and just being at the JC, I think that was pretty rough for me because I also had a internship at a bank.
Oh, okay.
And I was like my whole day would start work at the bank. I would leave early to do track and then school for the rest. Or some days it would literally be like work, do a 3-hour lab, and then go back to work just to finish up the day, and then make up the workout.
Yeah.
At like 5 or 6 at night, basically.
Yeah.
So that was pretty rough, but I think that helped me build a lot of my character. Then going into that first season is pretty much when like I got a lot closer with you and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was a pretty rough season because I think it was more of a shock.
Yeah.
Because difference from like high school to college, it was just
it is because
levels. There's levels.
It is because for me in freshman year at the JC. Cross country, it was rough. Like I didn't know how to run it because in junior college cross country, you run 4 miles in compared to high school where you run 3 miles. It's hard because like I didn't even know how to run it. Like how to run it, and then it was rough for me. And then going into track, that's where I like build up my confidence. Like I because of being around you, being around other people, it just built me to be like to run better. You know?
Right.
Yeah. So, can you like explain like you didn't won anything from there, right? At the JC, like any awards or
not really. I don't think I got anything at the JC as well. But I think ending it off in my last year, I felt really proud because the progress I made, I felt like it was the same progress I did back in my junior year. Like I improved a lot.
Yeah.
And during conference.
Yeah.
In our last year.
Yeah.
I did I did the same thing I did in my senior year. It was 3 jumps, then top 9 moved on to finals.
Yeah.
So So my first two jumps were like really bad.
Yeah.
Like those definitely weren't gonna help me move on to finals.
Yeah.
So one jump left. There was all this pressure on me,
Mm-hmm.
and I still remember I was thinking about my girlfriend and Coach Brian. I started a little clap going.
Yeah.
I went and boom, I made it in the finals. And
Yeah.
then my next jump, I got fifth place, and then I ended up helping score in conference. And for me, I think that was a pretty good end.
Yeah, that sounds a pretty good ending. It's funny he brought up like that kind of mindset, like locked in.
Mhm.
I think the only locked in mindset I had
Mhm.
was that second race before COVID hit
Mhm.
at Allen because I don't know why that that day it felt a weird vibe
Yeah.
and you don't know what's the future is like in
Mhm.
tomorrow
Exactly.
and then so I did the 16 and 3200 that day, right? And then 16 I didn't do well.
Yeah.
I knew it. I wasn't like really prepared for
Mhm.
it. And then the 32 at Big Cat I ran 1302, right?
Yeah.
Guess what I ran at the second race 5 days later.
So you went from a 13. Oh yeah.
I
It's
ran
only
tw-
12,
I ran
12.
12 I ran 12 minutes and 32 seconds.
Damn.
30-second PR in
Damn.
5 days.
Damn that. No, yeah, that's
That's
crazy. Like
that in 5 days.
30-second PR in the 32.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That's good,
crazy.
that's good.
To me that's crazy
Yeah, yeah.
because usually no one does that.
Exactly. No, yeah.
No one does that because like some people do it. PR will probably be like the biggest probably be like the 10 seconds.
Yeah. No, exactly.
But to me, like 30 seconds, that's huge because how I started the race, I was up with my cousin
Mhm.
Jeremiah
Yeah.
Cano, and all I hear is people saying, "Slow down, slow down, slow down." I already know I was
Yeah,
going to die pretty soon, but
Mhm.
if I didn't go with him
Mhm.
during in front of the race, like the first two laps,
Mhm.
I don't think I will PR.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, that like my mindset, I just locked the noise
Mhm.
and keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So like yeah, our I would say our my career is like a if too,
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah.
if because I wasn't like a good I wasn't like a good runner. I wasn't like oh like oh he's going to be fast. Like no, my career as a cross country and track runner, it was a project. I say it was a project, and I because when I first started at Spring Lake, the
Mhm.
first race, my time was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
And in the season, I got to like 22, 23 minutes
Wow.
at the end of
Yeah.
the season. And then the following season, it was kind of rough.
Mhm.
The sophomore season,
Yeah.
cross country, it was rough,
Mhm.
but I got to like 20 minutes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it was like a up and down,
Yeah. Yeah.
but still I got to 20 minutes
Yeah.
at Spring Lake.
Mm.
And then track it right. And if I'm gonna say this track, if COVID never hit,
Mhm.
I will definitely break 11
Yeah. Yeah.
at sometime in my career
Mhm.
because I never broke in 11, and I'll probably be in like between 10:30 to 10:50.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because I broke in 11 before
Mhm.
that later on, but I'm talking about in high school.
Yeah.
I would have broken 11 because at my last race of my high school career, I was basically throughout the season I was on a slump,
Mm.
runner slump. Many people would say that, and I at Big Cat I started off at I think it was
Mm.
11:20.
Yeah.
11:20. Went from 11:48 to 11:20.
Mhm.
And then throughout the season was on a big slump, big slump, big slump.
Mhm.
I think it was a 2 month slump.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, I got some dragonflies.
Yeah.
Yeah, dragonflies. Last meet went from 11:20 to 11:08.
Damn.
And and I and apparently, uh, with that time rate, there's a older teammate, like not an older teammate, but he was kind of like a coach too
Mhm.
before,
Mhm.
and he ran at Pioneer. I think from 2011 to 2014, like something like that. He was older. He was like uh, he was like 8 years older, 5 years older, and he I checked his time like at athletic.net time, and it says that it was 11:09, right before when I went up to the line and warm up.
Mhm.
I told him, I'm gonna get your record, a PR record, and guess what? No joke,
Mhm.
11:08.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, like back to you were saying, like walking in,
Yeah.
that's like a key of what this sport is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like like your teammate Jude.
Yeah, Jude.
Jude DeVries. Yeah, like that guy. He's no joke. Like I think he ran like a 9:30 something.
Yeah.
9:20.
I think so. And then he ran that like a
4:10, 4:15.
yeah.
Yeah.
4:16 or something.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. Yeah. That guy is no joke.
Mhm.
And then like there was other fast runners like Jacob Donahue.
Yeah. Jacob Donahue.
Noe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
then-
hell, Jared Hayes.
Jerry Hayes. Yeah. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Man. And we could add Bryce Ward.
Bryce Ward.
That guy is a clown.
Yep.
Definitely a clown right there. And yeah, and then shout out those Windsor guys, man. Like,
Yeah.
those guys are like underrated, like
No, definitely.
those guys are underrated, like about Valentino.
Mm.
Yeah, and then yeah, and what was like, what did you go to any invitational and like had a best like place the best time in your career, like for example, like placing like fifth or something in an invitational
Yeah.
in your heat. I'm talking about now.
Yeah. For me personally, it was at our home meet at the Pat Ryan in our last year
Yeah. Okay.
at the JC.
Yeah.
So I actually did PR that day.
Mhm.
But I think leading up to that meet is what I was. So that was the week of spring break, right?
Yeah.
So and I was working with my dad every single day right before practice.
Mhm.
I specifically remember Thursday practice
Okay.
that I was completely dead. Like I've been working with my dad for like hours,
Yeah.
like prior, and going into practice, I remember walking up to Coach Corey and just being like, "Hey, Coach, I've been working with my dad this entire week, and I'm feeling exhausted." And like, and he was like, "You're all good." I also he was like, "I also remember those days, working with dad and stuff." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
He's like, if you just need to rest up, you can. So, going into this meet, I thought I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do well.
Mhm.
I felt like I haven't had a break this entire week.
Yeah.
And then on meet day, I just feel like
Shit.
I did physically feel like shit. But thing is, like mentally, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go out there and do it. Like I don't care how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just gonna bring everything out of me to actually just do it. And then I actually do start feeling a lot better. I literally ate just like basically grapes in the morning,
Yeah.
and then first jump I actually like I opened up with I matched my season PR, and then I was like, okay, you know, this is good, this is good. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna keep it going.
Yeah.
Next jump, I hit a season PR of like 6'3" or something, which is around like I think like 20 foot
Okay.
6, 20'7" or something.
Yeah.
And then on my very last jump, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start a clap. I'm gonna get everything going. I built all this momentum. You know, I go, feels like the best jump of my life.
Mhm.
Um, and then I listen to the guy, and then he says 641, which is the equivalent of 21 feet, and I was like, holy shit! Like I finally did it.
Damn.
Like, and yeah, so and for me, and then I think I got second in my flight, and I was just super happy about that because like going in, I was like, you know, I still wasn't anything like that good, but like I ended up getting fourth overall in the meet, and yeah, so I think that was a
That's your
Yeah.
high moment.
I think that was my high moment in any invitational. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And then I also came back to do the 100. It was pouring rain, and then I matched my season PR. So
Yeah. I think my high moment was I'd say it was senior year cross country. So it was the NCS cross country course.
yeah.
It was a Mariner Invitational. This is before
Invitational.
yeah, and was like October where it's like kind of hot,
Yeah.
and it was
It's
like
still dry.
yeah, and it's 90 degrees out there.
Jeez.
90 degrees when it was at like 2 p.m. when I raced. And it's the last race. It was the open race, and it was a high moment for me. At the same time, it's kind of hilarious too, because there was 5 guys, no 6 guys, right? 6 guys.
Yeah.
It's all like mostly if all the 5 guys
Yeah.
were like mostly the varsity guys.
Yeah.
And but except for Jerry Hayes and Bryce Ward,
Yeah.
except for those 2. Because our team was like I'm gonna say this trash. Yeah, trash. Bryce will admit it. Yes, Bryce will admit it.
Bryce would say anything on
Yeah.
his mind.
Yeah, it was trash. And so yeah, if I would because during that season I was the third best runner. So if I say that it's trash, it's that because between me and Bryce, we're like 2 minutes apart.
Yeah.
So that it's
Yeah.
kind of trash. So at the high moment, I was started a race. I took off right. Started my sprint acceleration, and going into my pace, and I'm like, why am I in the front? Like, why am I in front? Like,
Right.
this is odd because you know you're used to being in the back.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
why am I in the front? And throughout the race, I was third or fourth. It was me and one kid, and then out of nowhere, that one kid, right? I was kind of scared because this one kid was like 6'5", 6'4", you know, with the long ass legs, and like I was kind of scared if I get close to him, he's going to like kick me in the kick me. And then I was kind of scared and like I'm just settled right here.
Yep.
Throughout the race, it was like that, right? But in the beginning, in the acceleration, that 6th guy I'm talking about, I'm going to say this: that guy, he took off in front of me. Because as a senior, he was a freshman. As a senior, I was like, why you're taking off hella soon?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you know, like I already know like how I race, you know, and
Yep.
he's taking off in front of me like, well, I already know in my head that he's going to die.
Right.
So I because I have experienced that those moments. So
Yep.
and then throughout the race, I was I think third or fourth, and then when the final stretch that coming from the downhill, I got nothing left,
Yeah.
and I was fighting, and then one person passed me, and then I got fifth in the race.
Dude, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was proud of myself. Because throughout the race, I was talking to myself in my head like, why am I was this a setup
Yeah.
for my coach or
Yeah.
like what was it? Because honestly, I think it was top 50, top something like that, right? Get medals, right?
Oh yeah.
Four of us got medals.
Yeah.
The second guy that was supposed to come behind me, he came down that hill, the second mile hill, too soon. Because you know in the that course you run that hill twice.
Yeah.
He ran the hill once.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So he had to go back into the race and didn't finish in the top 50.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hunter Lewis, man. Hunter Lewis. That guy. That guy is also a clown too. Yeah. That's my highest high moment for me because like it was like between me and the first guy, it was like about 15 seconds apart.
Damn. Really.
Yeah.
Damn.
About 15 seconds.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like that close.
That's pretty tight. Yeah.
It wasn't like a big gap like for example like Jews running 15 minutes and the big guy runs like 19
like 17 19
okay do you have any like people that you recommend for the future podcast?
Ooh, let's see. Anyone, and you're looking for student athletes,
Yes,
right? Correct.
yes.
Or like former student athletes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, hell, we were just talking about it. We could do like Bryce or Jared. I think Bryce would be a very interesting person to have on the podcast. I think either Bryce or Jared. And then hell, even Coach Wellman, if a coach is down, he probably has a whole bunch of stories and a lot of advice too. Let me think. And I'd probably say definitely like maybe some current athletes too at the JC. Unfortunately not any here. Or actually, I guess a few of the club people, but but yeah. I'd say like maybe currently anyone on the JC team. And if you need me to, I could always reach out to them. But yeah. So.
Well, that's it. Thank you for watching, and catch you later.
Yep. Bye, everyone.